Welcome everyone to The Vloggin, a vlog for individuals with special needs and those who love them. Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to The Vloggin. Today I have the absolute joy to talk about a joint program with the Licking County Board of Developmental Disabilities and 4-H through Ohio State, and it's called Animal Adventures. And today I have four people, two people from Ohio State and 4-H, and two people from the Licking County Board joining me. And so that I don't butcher their names, I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you what they do, and then we'll have our discussion. I know I won't mess this one up. So Lisa McCutcheon, would you start, please?
Certainly. I'm Lisa McCutcheon, and I serve as the 4-H Youth Development Educator here in Licking County for OSU Extension.
And I'm Adrienne Anderson, and I'm the 4-H Program Assistant for 4-H Youth Development here at Licking County.
I'm Anna.Jeffries. I'm the Public Information Officer at the Licking County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
I'm Ericka.Haines. I'm the Training Coordinator for the Licking County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
The 4-H program is a fabulous, creative, interactive program that is non-formal as far as the educational means that it takes. So most of the education that gets conveyed during 4-H is through informal means, and the goal would always be that it would be hands-on. So it's not necessarily in a classroom. It might be at a clinic, at a workshop, at a 4-H club meeting, at a livestock show, or a public speaking event. All of those ways are ways that we work with youth to help produce or enhance the life skills that they possess. The 4-H program actually starts in kindergarten and age 5 and goes up through the age of 18. And Adrienne gets to work with the Cloverbud, so I'll let her tell you a little bit about what the Cloverbud program has to offer.
So yes, our Cleverbuds start kindergarten in age 5 all the way up until they are program age or project age at 8 and in 3rd grade. And so our Cloverbuds are just participants. They don't take projects, they don't compete, because we know that that's not an ideal age to have competition for their development. And so they get to participate in club meetings. They might have their own activities they get to do. We have a Cloverbud day camp for the whole county. We have a Cloverbuds in the Kitchen workshop where they get to come and bake something and learn kitchen safety and hand washing and all of those things. And so there's a wide variety of things that they get to be involved in just on their own. They just don't take projects.
It's more than animals, right?
It is.
Okay.
Because once they hit that age of being 8 and in 3rd grade, they can enroll in projects, which are basically subject matter curriculums. And so they might be interested in welding. They might be interested in photography. They might be interested in collecting bugs or learning about tree leaves or ponds or any number of things. A lot of times people think livestock because they think of 4-H when they're at the fair. And there certainly are a lot of livestock at the fair that are representing the 4-H program, but we also have a lot of our still projects in the 4-H center that might be a youth that created an outfit through a clothing project, or learn to make food through their foods project, and they're participating in other events at the fair that aren't in the barns with livestock. So a lot of times people do assume that 4-H is livestock, and certainly those are some of our largest projects. But we have a lot of youth that also do leadership and mentoring projects, or cake decorating, or maybe they're involved in, like I said, photography, or learning about small engines so that they can mow their family's yard on a regular basis and earn some income. A variety of things that they can be involved in. And so those are those projects that they'll work with from 3rd grade up through the age of 18.
So you mentioned cake. Have you had any alums on Is It Cake or that chef show where they say, I forget the one where they only have like 30 minutes to bake something that's any alums from there?
Not that I know of, but we
Okay.
have had several youth that have taken a project and then realized how much they enjoy it and then turned that into a career.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So tell me how Ohio State is involved in 4-H. I had no idea.
Absolutely. So the 4-H programs throughout the country are actually facilitated out of the land-grant universities. And so it is a part of the Extension program, which is an outreach of the university into the communities. And so Extension is represented, the university is represented in every county across the state in an extension office and the staff that work there. And so the 4-H program is one component of extension. Extension actually offers program in ag and natural resources, family and consumer sciences, community development, and the 4-H youth development program. And so there are professionals just like Adrienne and I that are located in every county across Ohio facilitating 4-H youth development programs specific to that county. The nice thing is that we have a state 4-H office, and so through that state 4-H office, they help to coordinate the curriculums that are available to our families throughout the state. They also coordinate all of the trainings that allow us to make sure that programs are offered in the most safe and knowledgeable way. And so the state 4-H program is operated out of the OSU Columbus campus.
And you guys are in Licking County at the extension, is that right?
We are. Our office is located in Newark, and so we facilitate programming just for the county here in Licking.
Cool. And Lisa, do you have a background in journalism or public speaking?
No, but like Adrienne, I grew up through the 4-H program, and my mom was my 4-H advisor, just like Adrienne. And so I think that has a little bit to do with maybe how I interact with my skills now.
I'm just going to tell you, the amount of information that you just put out without an was amazing. I could see you holding a microphone or doing the 5 o'clock news.
Oh,
There we go.
and my next career, maybe. I don't
Awesome.
know.
Well,
I'm not planning to leave here anytime soon, so, but
cool.
thank you.
Yeah, well, so if we could now turn it over to the Licking County Board representatives, and thanks again for being here. Can you tell me how the Licking County Board is linked with 4-H?
Yeah, I guess just to start off, I love the couple points that Lisa made at the end, because there are some similarities within our organizations. One of which is that there is a county board in every county in Ohio, just like there is an OSU extension and a 4-H. So we obviously are the county board supporting people who live in Licking County. We support over 2,500 people in Licking County. We are a organization that's with people for their entire lives. So we meet a lot of our families and our folks that we support when they're babies, and they're in our system until they're no longer with us. We are obviously looking to partner with a lot of different organizations that are there for people throughout their lifespan. Our community partners are incredibly valuable to us because one of the big roles of the county board is to link and refer people to not only things they need, but things they want to look at and accomplish and learn. And a lot of our young people love animals. They love all the different options and projects that 4-H offers them. And they also are looking to learn those life skills, which are valuable to all youth, but especially the youth that we support. We want to make sure that they are learning, all those life skills, having those leadership opportunities, having the public speaking opportunities that 4-H provides. And we have been very fortunate that 4-H has always been a great partner to us, not only offering opportunities for the people that we support, but allowing us to come in and do trainings of their volunteers. We see each other a lot at the fair because we have a large presence at the Hartford Fair, and they are always, very noticeable, and their 4-Hers come to our table and talk to us, and we will talk about Animal Adventures, which is our latest really awesome connection with them.
I think that I want to highlight something that just really kind of resonated with me is that 4-H is for life. It's not something that ends, oh, you're 3rd grade, now you're out of this. It spans the lifetime of the individual and allows them to have an activity that they can look forward to throughout their life. I love that. There seems to be no end. That's great. Ericka, do you want to talk a little bit about Animal Adventures?
Absolutely. So I am a product of also being a 4-H alum. So exactly what you said about those skills that you learn in 4-H are with you for life. That is how we actually at the Licking County Board of DD got hooked up with the Licking County Extension for Animal Adventures. It was something that during an Extension Advisory Committee meeting that Lisa and Adrienne actually brought to me to bring back to my cohorts here at the Board of DD. Back in April 2022 is when the conversation started. Fortunately for me, the day after Lisa brought it to me, I was driving to South Carolina for my brother-in-law's wedding. Unfortunately for my husband, he had to listen to my excitement for the entire drive to South Carolina. It's a program that we expected to be pretty impactful, that brings individuals with developmental disabilities together with 4-H and FFA mentors. It gives them the chance to learn together about each other, learn how each other communicates, see how they learn, what their learning styles are. They get to learn about the animal. They get to foster that kinship together, that leadership. And then that all culminates in a show at the Hartford Fair in August, when both the 4-H or FFA mentor actually gets to go into the show ring with the participant and exhibit the animal together. And you really get to see the pride on the faces of the exhibitors and the mentors as well.
When I was doing some reading about it, I saw that people were in the ring and showing off their ribbons and things. How long is kind of the Animal Adventures course where a person says, "Hey, I'd like to do Animal Adventures," and then to the show, if I'm using the right words?
In our case, they sign up in the spring, early summer, and then we help make the connections to pair them up based upon what animal the mentor is working with and planning to exhibit, and what animals the exhibitor is looking to learn about or that they really enjoy. And so then we had the opportunity to do 2 meet and greets ahead of the fair so that they could get to know each other, get to know the animal, the process, the facility, the area where we would be holding the program. And so we did a meet and greet in both June and July, and then the show took place in August. And so there were essentially 3 different days that they were able to spend time together that were scheduled as a part of the program. The neat thing is that many of us had the opportunity to see several of those families that connected through the Animal Adventures program then maintained contact. They may have been involved in other activities at the fair together. They followed up by meeting at one another's homes because they became family friends. In some cases, the exhibitors still visit their mentors and their animals at their location. And so it has continued, but the commitment that they're involved with initially is just the 3 days.
Okay, awesome. Are the animals there all 3 times?
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. That's a big part of the process because sometimes, like we had a young man who initially they responded that they liked one particular kind of animal. And then once he arrived with his mom and we had a chance to kind of introduce him to a few of the species, he actually ended up working with a different mentor in a different species than we had initially planned. And so this program allows for that flexibility such that we want them to have a connection and be comfortable, and for it to be a successful interaction.
Are the animals chosen specifically for their temperament?
That's a great question. Not necessarily, but we certainly did encourage the mentors as they were signing up and volunteering to be a part of the program and telling us which species they would be working with or able to provide. The information that we're able to share with them about the process and the interactions in the show, I think helps them to have an extra incentive to really work with the animals that they're planning to show, such that they know that animal will be well behaved and interact with others in a positive and kind and calm manner, just because they don't know who they're going to be paired up with initially. And so I do truly believe that they do their best to make sure that they're working extra with those animals that are going to be prepared for this program, just because they know that they want it to be a calm and smooth programming experience.
That's awesome. I have many clients who show animals at the fair, and they're very excited about the check that they get sometimes at the end for the animal. And sometimes we don't talk about what happens to the animal in exchange for that check. Are these animals just typical fair animals where they will be auctioned off, or do they get to go and live beautifully like the pig in Charlotte's Web?
How did I know we were going to reference Charlotte's Web? I was thinking that same thing.
The answer is they're both.
Okay.
So we had multiple species, and some of the species that were involved in the program were indeed market projects. And so the exhibitor would have had the opportunity to sell that animal at the fair. They are not required to sell that animal, but for most of them, that's a part of their project experience because they're learning about budgeting with that animal, and then seeing that income at the end of their project in order to offset their expenses. And a lot of the teens that were a part of this program that maybe sold their animals, that income will have been used for either planning for college, maybe later, or to invest in animals for the next project year. And so in some cases, those sale monies are really, really important to those youth. Not all of the animals that participated in this program did go through a market experience, but the youth did have the opportunity in most cases.
Awesome. I want to backtrack a little bit and make sure that I understand how this kind of formed. So it was Lisa McCutcheon at Ohio State 4-H that reached out to Ericka at the Lincoln County Board. And then, so that's how the brainchild started. And then now Adrienne and Lisa at the county board are involved in making it all happen too. Is that right?
I mean, it's really been a true partnership, like Adrienne and Lisa over at 4-H and Ericka and myself and our other coworker, Hannah Goodwin, who could not be here today. We each, I think, bring our own skill set to the table. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I am not a 4-H'er. This has been a big education for me, just learning about showing but we were very fortunate that Hannah and Ericka have so much 4-H experience at the board that they could speak the same language as Lisa and Adrienne and figuring out like, okay, this is how we're gonna do the show and this is what we're gonna give. Like this is the concept of like giving every kid a banner. I was just very confused by that. I learned a lot of trivia about farm animals that I didn't know being a Clevelander. So I do think it really was just the best example of a partnership because without Lisa and Adrienne and their 4-H office, we could not do it, but I hope that we helped out with the marketing of the program to the young people that we support and just were able to help in a lot of other ways as well. Hopefully, one of the great things about this program was that we were marketing it specifically toward young people that we support as a first experience. Not every kiddo that or young adult that signed up for the program was gonna join a 4-H club, but we knew that it was not only an opportunity to spend time with an animal, but hoping that some families and some of the young people did take that next step and connect to a 4-H club. And then when they did that, find the resources there that they needed for support. So I think it worked out as perfectly as it could have. Everybody came together. We had great financial support from the Farm Bureau, sponsored everything that we did. So we had a great funding source. The Hartford Fair was incredibly generous, and we had staff members of the county board that came to cheer people on, volunteered to help pass out information, and our superintendent judge was the judge. So he was the one who interacted and interviewed each of the participants. So it was really just an amazing example of a team effort.
Yeah, I think that completely wraps up the whole package where, we all got to leverage our strengths and do what we're strong at. And it all came together kind of in a beautiful package at the fair in August.
Yeah, and you guys all were very nice about my questions about, what happens if all the animals escape and like stuff like that. Mostly joking, but I did learn a lot.
Adrienne, is there a limit to the number of people that can be served in this Animal Adventures program? And then I'm going to turn it back to Ericka about how somebody who's watching this said, okay, this is something I want to do, or maybe even some leaders in some other counties say, this is something we ought to try.
So we did set a limit for the first year, especially. We wanted to make sure that we didn't bite off more than we could chew and that everyone got the time that they needed and the support that they needed to have this be successful. So our limit last year was 32. We didn't reach that limit. We had 12 participants and 12 mentors. We actually had more mentors who volunteered, but then we only needed the 12. The others, we offered them the opportunity to help throughout the program. They just wouldn't serve as a mentor. And so those 12 really had a great experience and a great time. And we were just excited to see it go so well.
Yeah. And so we're coming up on the second year then, is that right?
Yes.
And so then if somebody's watching this and they said, my child would love to do this, Ericka, what do they need to do?
If anyone is interested in participating either as a 4-H mentor or exhibitor, we have set it up for Licking County that those individuals can reach out to our public information officer, Anna.Jeffries, or they can reach out to Lisa McCutcheon at the 4-H Extension Office. That would also be the same that is true of anyone who wishes to be an adult volunteer. I will say that for the first year, we had an amazing response from the community to actually serve as volunteers and staff the show. And I did mention that we did have some of our staff actually participate and help facilitate the show, but the majority of the volunteers and the actual heavy lifting and leg work at the day of the show was actually provided by individuals in the community, whether they're linked through agriculture or families that are in the developmental disability world as well. So,
yeah. And that was critical because they helped line people up, they helped people get ready for photos. It was really important that we did have those volunteers help out.
So if somebody wanted to be a volunteer to help in any way, they raise their hand by contacting either Lisa McCutcheon at the OSU Extension in Licking or to the County Board Public Information, Anna.Jeffries. And that would be a person who wants to help in any way, perhaps wants to participate or be a mentor or make sure the show runs or give money, that kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
This is a program that has different names sometimes in different areas,
Okay.
but this is something that we are seeing spread throughout Ohio. I believe when Lisa approached us, there were a few other counties that were partnering with their county board to do a show like Animal Adventures. There are some options, I believe, Lisa, if I'm wrong, please correct me, but at the state fair, I believe there are some adaptive animal shows that happen as well.
Yes, and we saw those promoted very widely through the State Fair social media in 2023 specifically.
I caught that online myself, and I was like, oh, this is kind of what we're doing, but the one that I think you're talking about was swine, and it was for the adults. And we did not have any swine this year. I don't know if that's changing next year, but no one's putting me in charge of the animal process. It would not go well.
Listen to you use like farm terms and pigs and swine
since 2009. So I did have to learn my first couple of years working here my way around the fairgrounds, and I actually got to work with Lisa a lot in my reporting days, and she was always very kind and kind of helped me connect with 4-Hers for stories and different things. So yeah, I have learned some things, but I have a lot left to learn.
Do you have a belt buckle to wear to the fair?
No, like I said, I'm from Cleveland, so I don't want to.
Maybe we should do that.
I wouldn't even know what to do with a belt buckle.
Sounds like maybe we've got a Christmas gift coming. Maybe.
Maybe we can get Animal Adventures belt buckles for everyone.
Awesome. So
instead of banners, can we give everybody a belt buckle?
It's always good to have books.
We need more sponsors for belt buckles.
So people out there, belt buckles might be something that you cool. Is this program, does it follow the 4-H years? After 18, they would not participate in Animal Adventures?
Our goal initially was that the program is set up to kind of mirror that age range. So we do solicit and encourage those folks to consider getting involved that match our 4-H age range, which does go up through and including 19. When they are turning 19, that's typically their last year of 4-H enrollment. And that's usually a point in time that a lot of them then consider how they might get involved as adult volunteers. But this program does mirror what we refer to as our junior fair program at the fair, which would go up through the age of 19 as they're finishing.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
And it might vary a little bit in terms of county by county what's offered. Just working on this project alone, we heard from several counties that were considering adding this program to their fair or their 4-H experience. And I believe we had a group come from another county to watch our show so they could learn and take that information back. So if you are watching this in another county and this sounds like something you would love to do, I would reach out either to your county board or your 4-H program and see what can be done, because I think it's, the nice thing about it is there are some really good programs that we were able to learn from, but I think it's also somewhat customizable to what your county is looking for. So it's a really, like, I think that makes it a really good option for everyone to kind of find their niche. One of the things I mentioned about, this program is it's supposed to be, Animal Adventures is supposed to be a way for kiddos and young adults that we support to maybe have a point of entry into learning more about 4-H. And I think we would be remiss to not talk about some of the things that 4-H has in place as an organization to make sure that kids with maybe just some additional support needs do get what they need from their clubs. And the last thing we would ever want to hear is for somebody to feel intimidated that they didn't want to join a club or an organization because they didn't know if they would fit with that model of an activity. So I'd love not to put you guys on the spot, but I would love if you could talk about winning 4-H and some of the other ways that clubs work with families that might have a neurodiverse child or a child with disabilities, or just somebody that needs a little extra support. Because I think, we want families to maybe check out programs like Animal Adventures and see if they like it, but then stick around and have those community connections that have nothing to do with the board, because that's how real community is formed.
I'd be happy to explain a little bit about what we offer, and then I'll ask Adrienne to explain a few of the ways that we've seen that play out in regards to judging and things of that nature. When Anna speaks of the Winning 4-H plan, the Winning 4-H plan is actually a document. It is a source or a resource for families who need to notify us that there's some type of special arrangement that needs to be made for their child to have a more successful experience. So, for instance, our youth are involved in projects, as I mentioned, that vary in a wide variety of topic areas or interest. They complete those projects, in most cases, at home with a family member or a project helper. And then at some point during the year, depending on the project, there is an interaction that is a judging or an opportunity for that youth to explain what they've done as a part of their project and what they've learned, and then to be recognized. And so for some of our youth, when they are working through their projects and realizing that they're going to come to a point of judging or interacting with a judge or an interviewer, there's some nervousness about, well, what they see from me might not be what they're accustomed to. Like maybe I need to bring an adult with me to help process the questions or to help me in responding. Most judges would look for written feedback. Well, maybe I need to type my responses. A number of ways that we can just ensure them that when they come to a 4-H experience, that they will be understood and that there will be some resources available to them, or that the way that the setting is set up can accommodate what their fears are or how they might think that they need to interact in a different manner. And so we allow the families to tell us what works best for them. They are the experts, and so they can tell us if we need to do something in a different manner, if we need to accommodate in some way. And then we simply work to make those accommodations such that they can work through that experience and enjoy themselves and feel as though they have achieved something and that they have conquered something that maybe that they were nervous about initially. And to date, we haven't had any difficulty in accommodating those requests, and they've all been quite reasonable as far as how we've been able to work with them.
One of the things that they have to complete is a project book. And that project book has areas that they need to fill out experiments or activities or what their thoughts are or answer questions. And so we've had youth that maybe have dyslexia or dysgraphia, and so writing is difficult. So maybe they'll type out the responses, cut them out and paste them into the book. We had a youth one time that had selective mutism, so having a project interview was going to be a challenge. So that youth brought a tablet, and so they would type out their responses to the judge's questions on the tablet and then show the judge. And so there's been a wide variety of ways that we've been able to support those youth. But the Winning 4-H plan just makes it an easy way for the families, the club advisors, and ourselves to kind of get all on the same page and then be able to share that information with the people that need to know it in order to help that youth succeed.
That is awesome. So while you were speaking, I Googled Winning 4-H and it comes right up and it's fillable, and it just, just reading just the first, the reason for the document itself is just absolutely wonderful, and really would just demonstrate such a commitment from 4-H to make sure that every person who wants to participate is able to participate.
Absolutely. I mean, ultimately, our goal is that we are there for any and all youth in our community. Some youth have other interests or other youth program connections that they pursue rather than 4-H. But our goal would always be that we are here for any youth that needs us and that we are open to everyone and that we can help to accommodate and help them build life skills from wherever they are at their point of development.
Oh, awesome. I think that that's a great way to wrap up, talking about what 4-H is and then how that fits into the animal adventures with the Licking County Board. To your point, Anna, though, I think that it would be awesome if we could do another one of these to focus on, all of 4-H and what 4-H does to include all individuals. That would be fabulous. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Logan. We so much appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Logan. Please like, share, and subscribe to the RRPG channel so you can stay up to date with some of the latest news in the disability community.